First, live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Hello, everyone. This is Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Nibbler. Thanks for joining us. We are live streaming here out of the Fox 12 Oregon newsroom. We are here every weekday starting at 1 o'clock. We go throughout the afternoon. We cover a wide range of topics here on this show, as we will be doing. If breaking news happens between now and 4 o'clock, we'll have that for you as well. But something that we are going to discuss here right out of the gate is something that the Portland City Council voted on today, and this has to do with detention facilities within the city. So essentially it's this: the vote would require property owners who own or lease a detention facility, to pay a yearly impact fee, shifting costs essentially from police overtime, environmental cleanup, a lot of things that taxpayers would be paying onto the landlords of those facilities. We're gonna get into the details of that a little bit more right now because the council did vote on this, as I mentioned today. We've got our own Julia Lopez joining us right now, who is there in, I believe, downtown Portland right now. And Julia, thanks for being here. And from what we understand, the city council passed this vote. So would you mind letting us know, what the discussion was about going into this?
Of course, there was a lot of back and forth in the meeting today. In the end, the ordinance did pass with 9 yeses and 2 no votes. Those dissenting voices had a range of concerns, such as Councillor Steve Novick said he felt it would be inconsistent to attach this fee to a detention facility just because it generates protests. Councillor Dan Ryan joined him in voting no, saying he fears this ordinance unfairly punishes landlords for the actions of their tenants. In some cases, that is the federal government. Councillor Angelina Murillo, though, says she still does support this ordinance. She sponsored the ordinance. She believes it's the quickest way to mitigate harm being done at some of these detention facilities in Portland. And so one of the big things I think that a lot of people notice too, when we talk about detention facilities, certainly everything that comes to mind for everyone is the ICE facility there on Macadam in South Portland, or off of Macadam. And that wasn't actually mentioned in this, right? Correct. The ICE facility is not mentioned in this ordinance specifically, though it was at the center of much of the conversations that we saw in council today. That's where they say we've seen the use of chemical weapons in residential areas, and where the city is reporting that mass amount of police overtime you mentioned earlier. Those are the types of concerns, though, that are specifically addressed in the ordinance language. Okay, so that part's addressed, and we were just taking a look there at some of the footage too from the ICE facility, from the different things that have gone on down there. Now, from this, now that we have this vote, I'm curious, what any feedback is that you've heard as far as what the community thinks about this? Well, the last time that this ordinance was on the table, there was a large group of protesters right here outside of City Hall saying that they actually don't support this ordinance. They said that they didn't think that this was enough, that they want to see the city of Portland revoke the ICE facility's land use permit entirely, given that it's already been cited by the city for some violations such as detaining people overnight and boarding up windows. Okay, so it'll be interesting to see, how this goes about from here and what gets implemented. Now that this vote has passed, and I'm sure that's something that you're going to be following up on, Julia, I'm sure throughout the day. Is that right? Exactly. We'll be following this closely. I'm reaching out to those impacted right now to get as many voices on this as we can. In the meeting as well, there was a lot of talk about designated specific rules specific to facilities and kind of fine-tuning exactly what this will mean for the city of Portland going forward. All right, yeah, a lot to work out there, and certainly an interesting circumstances happening with this. And once again, something unique as far as something we haven't really seen before associated with this facility in so many different ways, and this is just yet one more of those. So, Julia, thank you very much for joining us. Really appreciate you keeping people up to date on this and letting us know what's going on, and looking forward to hearing more about what you find out here throughout the afternoon. Absolutely. Thank you, Greg. All right, so there we go. We'll let Julia Lopez get back to it there. And yeah, this is one of the things that we get to do here on Fox 12 Now, is just speak to our reporters as they're out there covering these stories, as it happens. This is a vote that just occurred not very long ago, and now we see what happens next. And what I was alluding to there, too, of just
everything with this facility, whether it's different lawsuits, whether it's different ways organizations are interacting together. A lot of it are things that we haven't seen before. So these are circumstances where we're finding out along with you what goes on, but we get you this information as soon as we possibly can. And that's one of the things we can do here with Fox 12 Now, outside of our other news shows, is bring you this and go a little bit more in depth and have that time there with our reporters. All right, so what we're going to be doing now is talking about some of the other news stories that we've been covering here throughout the day. And we're going to run some that we showed on Good Day Oregon this morning. So these are going to be some clips, some different segments about local, national, international stories we've been covering. This is all leading up to around 1:30. We're going to be talking about king tides on the Oregon coast and the fact that king tides are returning December 4th through the 6th. So if you're going to be heading out there to the Oregon coast, what should you expect with that? How do you stay safe? Unfortunately, we do have to report on people getting into trouble out there, which does happen, and we're going to let you know how to avoid getting into trouble there with the king tides. And we're also going to be talking to a local comic book producer, publisher this afternoon, and if there's breaking news, we'll have that as well. But right now, let's keep you up to date on some of those other stories. If you're watching on YouTube, I will say that this video will end, so thanks for joining us there. If you are watching us on the Fox 12 Oregon app, I should have specified that's the best way to follow along with everything that we're doing, just because we've got so much there for you to watch, to follow up on, to go back and take a look at. So plenty of ways there, Fox 12 Oregon app on whatever platform you're on. So if you're on that or the website, we'll continue on. If you're on YouTube, we'll talk to you soon. I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox 12 Now.